Hi everybody, I'm Joe of Average Joe's Woodworking. Welcome back. Today I'm going to take a piece of mimosa log that I picked up from my dad's house up in Oklahoma about a year ago. We were up there as a family. I was with my two younger sisters and all of our families, and we were driving past one of my dad's neighbors actually, and saw that they had cut down this mimosa tree, and so far be it for me to pass up a free log, and so I picked this up. So today I'll be cutting this in half and roughing out some bowls. I was really fascinated by this piece. I think it should turn into some really wonderful bowls. It's a crotch piece. That's where two branches come together. That produces a lot of really interesting figure in the wood oftentimes. It does have a little inclusion here, and I'm a little worried about what that'll do to one of the bowls. But looking at the grain, at least what I can see here from the outside, I think there should be some really pretty movement once we get the bowls in. So first thing to do is to chop this, or to cut this thing in half. I'll be using the chainsaw, and then we'll get it roughed out and turn it on the lathe.
So the first thing I do is scribe a line using a straight edge and a Sharpie along the edge of the log, and that just helps me to guide my chainsaw directly through the center of the log, helping me to eliminate the pith on the bowls when I turn them. I'm about halfway through the log, through the first leg of the crotch, and working my way through the second leg here. I typically will go about 80-90% of the way through the log, and then I'll stand it up, as you can see here, and then complete the cut that way. And I've just found that that's a little more stable way of making the cut. It also produces perhaps just a little bit cleaner cut, a little less sanding and cleanup that I have to do on the deal. And here you can see the pretty grain that crotch produces. And so I set my compass to about 11.5 inches. That's as big a bowl as my lathe will do, and I'm just laying out where I want the bowl to be, as well as marking the center of the bowl, and that just helps me with the placement of the faceplate on my lathe once I get it spinning. Then I can take it over to the bandsaw and clean it up on the bandsaw, cutting on that line that we scribed earlier. My bandsaw was a little bit dull, and I ended up breaking the blade, which is why you kind of see it suddenly stop there. And here I've got it mounted on the lathe, and I'm just taking light cuts just to true up the bowl. It's definitely unbalanced right now. It's kind of vibrating all over the place, and that'll just help me get it round. The part that you see right now, the surface that you see, will actually end up being the bottom of the bowl. And so the first thing I do is to put a tenon on that, and then I'll spin the bowl around and use my chuck to tighten it into the lathe. Here you can see I'm taking off that faceplate, and I'll turn it around, and then that'll be the inside of the bowl, and I'll hollow it out from there. So once I've got everything kind of situated, I've got plenty of clearance, I'll just bring up that tailstock, and that just provides just a little bit of extra support as I'm cleaning up the outside, as well as I begin to remove material on the inside of the bowl.
All right, sorry about that, guys. The battery died on my camera. Looks like I need to get a second battery. But I did finish roughing out the bowl. Had a lot of trouble actually. The tenon on the back, I wasn't careful enough when I formed that, and there's actually a bark inclusion that runs kind of right through the middle of that, and so that left that tenon just a little bit soft. And I wasn't super careful on making nice square shoulders there. And so this has actually been a little bit of a frustrating turn for me, in that the bowl was continuously wobbling, become off-centered, and I'd have to stop and retighten the tenon. But I got it to a rough state. The next step then is to just put this into a bucket with some denatured alcohol. I have heard that there's a bit of an osmosis effect, that the denatured alcohol actually replaces some of the water in the wood grain itself, and then dries from there. I've been doing it on my bowls pretty much since the beginning, and I haven't had a whole lot of trouble with the bowls warping and cracking while they dry. But if anybody has any information on that, feel free to post a comment below. Anyway, so I'll put this in the denatured alcohol for a few hours, maybe overnight, and then I'll take and put that, wrap it up in some paper, and then put it up on the shelf for a month or so to let it finally dry out, and then we'll do the finish turning and finish it, and I'll try to remember to make a video about that once that time comes. So thanks for joining me, and have a good day.